Hello, this is News Plus on Viewer Television. I am Chinon Sopam. The president-elect Bola Tinubu has left Nigeria for Europe on a working visit. A statement by his media office said Tinubu was scheduled to return to the country shortly for preparations towards his official swearing-in as the 16th president on May 29, 2023. The statement issued by the office of the president-elect and signed by Tunde Rahman said the president-elect would use the opportunity of the trip to fine-tune the transition plans and programs and his policy options with some of his key aides without unnecessary pressures and distractions. Rahman noted that during the visit, the president-elect would engage with investors and other key allies with the goal of marketing investment opportunities in the country and his administration's readiness to enable a business-friendly climate through policies and regulations. And according to him, reviving the country's economy forms a major plank of Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, and the meeting is part of his efforts to re-establish Nigeria's importance in the global economic chain and create empowering opportunities for the country's huge youth population. And the Action People's Party, APP, has withdrawn the petition it filed to nullify the declaration of Bola Tinubu of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, as winner of the 2023 presidential election. The party, at the resumed proceedings before the Presidential Election Petition Court sitting in Abuja, announced its decision to terminate further hearing on its petition. Counsel to the party, Obed Agu, told a 5-member panel of the court that was set to hear the matter that the withdrawal notice, which was filed on May 9th, was predicted on paragraph 29, section 1, 2, and 3 of the schedule for election petitions. And on his part, the president-elect Tinubu, through his lead counsel, Chief Wole Olanikbekun San, said he was not opposed to APP's application to withdraw the petition. Similarly, a lead counsel from the APC, Prince Lateef Fagema San, who did not also oppose the application, urged those whose petitions against the outcome of the presidential election were still pending before the courts to emulate the APP. And the senators-elect across the North Central geopolitical zone from different political parties have rejected the zoning arrangements for the 10th National Assembly leadership positions announced by the All Progressives Congress. The APC had in the zoning plans endorsed Godswill Akpabio from the South-South geopolitical zone as the president of the 10th Senate, while Barao Jibrin from the Northwest was picked as his deputy. Also in the House of Representatives, the APC endorsed Tajuddin Abbas from the Northwest as the Speaker and Benjamin Kalu from the Southeast as Deputy Speaker. The development forced the North Central Senators-elect to write an open letter to the National Chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Adamu, and rejected the zoning arrangements because it excluded their region, specifically the elected federal lawmakers, said only the North Central geopolitical zone did not produce any presiding officer, although neither the president-elect nor the vice president-elect. And now a member of the House of Representatives and chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, Aliyu Batara, has also joined the race for the speakership of the 10th House of Representatives. This is coming as the ruling All Progressives Congress with majority seats had zoned the position to the Northwestern region. The federal lawmaker from the Northeastern region of Nigeria says he has the experience it takes to lead the parliament to meet the yearnings of citizens. Other aspirants, Majority Leader Alhassan Ado Doguwa, Chairman House Committee on Navy, Yusuf Gagdi, Sada Soli, and Mariam Onuaha were present to show solidarity with Batara, who formally declared his intention to run for the speakership.
All has been said about me. The most important thing today is for me to declare that I'm contesting. Today is our day for members elect in the 10th Assembly and for our former members of the parliament. You have seen all the aspirants here. They came to support me because we are one family. We are moving as a group.
Whoever becomes the speaker must need better around to really hold it tight. And it is in the light of that unity and understanding, like my colleagues have rightly said, that I feel I should join this occasion to fraternize with him, to wish all of us well, and to let the Lord know that my contest is not about do or die affair. Whoever God gives to, I will be a progressive ally to work with him. And I will expect if God gives to me, every other one will join me to work together.
We are here for the respect of the sanctity of the independence of the parliament. Why are we here? Because we would want to demonstrate the inclusivity of parliamentarians. Once a parliament is not inclusive, the country will cry, the public will castigate the parliament because some people are isolated. The trends that are going on now, or the trends that are being speculated, will spell doom for the integrity, the fraternity, the sanctity, the inclusivity, and the sovereignty of Parliament.
Affirmative action and the need for inclusivity and diversity. I have proven that I'm a woman who comes with the right experience for this process and was the first to initiate this, visiting a co-aspirant at his declaration. We have all shown that united we stand and divided we fall.
Still on political matters, the former Osun Governor Boyega Oyetola has accepted the ruling of the Supreme Court, which upheld the election of Senator Ademola Adeleke as governor of the state. Oyetola, in a statement, said although the verdict of the Apex Court was against the wish of his party's members and supporters, he accepted it in the interest of peace and development of the state. The former governor urged members of his political party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, his supporters, and those who voted him during the July 16, 2022 governorship election to accept the judgment as the will of God and move on. Oyetola, who asked the APC members and supporters not to feel sad and depressed over the decision of the court, encouraged them to brace up for the task ahead of the party. He also appreciated the leadership of the party in the state and at the national level for their commitment and support throughout the period of the legal tussle. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, says it has signed an agreement with 4 Nigerian airlines approved for the transportation of pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. The chairman of NACON, Zulkiruha Hassan, made the disclosure in Abuja, according to a statement by Mausa Ubandawaki, the Commission's Deputy Director, Information and Publications, last week. The 4 airlines had declined to sign the agreement to transport prospective pilgrims due to the closure of the Sudan airspace over the ongoing crisis. A route for the airlines. Hassan had said the airlines are Max Air, Air Peace, Asban Air, and Euro contractors, adding that only Flynas and Saudi Arabian designated airline signed the arrangement to transport 28,515 intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia. Speaking on the new development, Hassan complimented the local airlines' patriotic favor and their sacrifices in the face of the challenges posed by the Sudan crisis. And now let's go on a quick break, and News Plus will return.
morning, gentlemen. I'm at the Envoy Hotel, Diplomatic Drive 305, here for a business weekend. It's been an amazing stay. Conference hall and business facilities here are stylish and innovative. The Envoy Hotel is luxury, esoteric, opulence, for ultimate comfort.
Discerning travelers, we are more than just a place to stay. We are an icon of comfort, style, and thoughtful luxury. We are Envoy Hotel.
Welcome back. This is still News Plus on Viewer Television. Now, a federal high court in Abuja has given an order of perpetual injunction restraining the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, from imposing fines henceforth on broadcast stations in the country. Justice James Omotosho, in a judgment, also set aside the 500,000 naira fines imposed on March 1st, 2019 on each of the 45 broadcast stations. Justice Omotosho held that NBC, not being a court of law, had no power to impose sanctions as punishment on broadcast stations. He further held that the NBC Code, which gives the Commission the power to impose sanctions, is in conflict with Section 6 of the Constitution, which vested judicial power in the court of law. The judge agreed that the Nigeria Broadcasting Code, being a subsidiary legislation that empowers an administrative body, such as the NBC, to enforce its provisions, cannot confer judicial powers on the Commission to impose criminal sanctions or penalties, such as fines. And the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board has promised to ensure that Nigerian students evacuated from war-torn Sudan are integrated into universities. The JAM Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede made this known in Abuja when the chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, visited the board. The visit was to discuss modalities for integrating the affected students into the country's tertiary institutions. Oloyede, who sympathized with the students, commended NIDCOM for the effective handling of the evacuation and promised that JAMB would provide the desired support to them. The JAMB registrar advised the students not to tread the path of those who returned to the country over a year ago as a result of Ukraine's war. He added that the Ukraine returnees refused to comply with the stipulated procedures to continue their academic programs in Nigeria. The federal government has directed all elected labor leaders to undergo leadership training at the Michael Imodu National Institute for Labor Studies in Ilorin for effective service to the nation. The Minister for Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngigi, disclosed this at the Institute's 40th anniversary lecture and conferment of fellowship awards in Ilorin. And according to him, the requirement capacity building will empower the labor leader on effective administration of their various unions vis-a-vis national development. Represented by Dr. Kashim Akwo, the Director General of National Productivity Center, Ngige, said the federal government has realized the importance of leadership training for labor leaders and is taking steps to ensure elected officers are groomed appropriately in the tasks expected of them. And the minister stressed that the era of briganded leadership was gone and that Nigeria needed to transit to more civilized way of engagement as obtained in more advanced countries. And the House of Representatives has rejected a request by the National Communications Commission for 700 billion naira to provide access to 27 million Nigerians who do not have access to telecommunication coverage. And the ad hoc committee of the House investigating the NCC's failure to provide telecommunications coverage and utilization of the Universal Service Provision Fund rejected the request when the executive vice chairman of the commission, Umar Garba Danbata, and his team appeared before it. The committee, chairman by Bamidele Salam, also demanded details of over 2 billion naira projects under the USPF, including an e-library project carried out by the NCC.
This industry is very critical to national development, is very critical to security, is very critical to poverty alleviation. In fact, in most parts of the world, one of the major drivers of poverty eradication or alleviation is communication access, telecommunication access, internet access to the populace. And Nigeria, as the largest democracy in Africa and as the third largest in the world, cannot be seen to be lagging behind in terms of being able to leverage on the opportunities available in this industry for the advancement of the welfare of its people. The House of Representatives is committed to getting to the roots of all bottlenecks or hindrances which may have made it impossible for us to attain desired targets up till now. And I want to assure you, Mr. Speaker, that we're going to do a thorough job in line with the mandate which the House has given to us and turn in our report in due course.
And speaking while declaring the forum open, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, was represented by the Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Nkiruka Onyejiocha. The Speaker described the telecommunications sector in Nigeria as the largest sector, calling on the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC, to always ensure proactiveness in order to provide services across all nooks and crannies of the country.
Mobile telecommunications in our country's economic growth cannot be overemphasized. Hence, the reason the House of Representatives constituted this all-important ad hoc committee to investigate the non-provision of mobile telecommunication network services to the underserved and unserved areas of Nigeria by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, despite the availability of Universal Service Provision Fund, USPF, which was created for this purpose, and total accruals into the utilization of the USPF by the NCC since inception of the fund.
Meanwhile, the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communication Commission (NCC), Professor Umar Danbata, said the country needs about 700 billion to bridge the gaps of underserved and unnerved network users in the country. And according to him, about 27 million Nigerians lacked access to mobile telecommunication, and added that there were 220 million active subscribers that own 2 or more SIM cards.
Indicated additional things we have done to be able to bridge these gaps, and given an analysis of the amount of money that will be required to completely bridge the 97 clusters of access gaps in the country, arising from the deterioration of the exchange rate of the naira to the dollar. We have a figure of close to 700 billion naira is the total amount required to completely bridge, gaps within the clusters that I have stated earlier. This is not a tall order. It can be done.
And the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, expresses commitment of the Nigerian Army to enhance capacity building and ensure continued reform of its personnel to defeat emerging threats and to appropriately and timely provide the troops with needed logistics. The Chief of Army Staff, who made the remarks in Bauchi during the opening ceremony of the 2023 Combat Arms Training Week, says the combat arms have been performing creditably in the discharge of the assigned mission in various internal and foreign operational environments with remarkable successes. Hence, there is need to encourage and enhance their capacity. And our Bauchi State correspondent, Awal Hassan, completes the story.
So it's my honor and privilege this morning to commission this facility for the use of our personnel, and God, congratulations.
A multi-million naira auditorium being commissioned by the Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya at the Nigerian Army Armor School during the opening ceremony of the 2023 Combat Arms Training Week in Bauchi. The theme for this year is capacity building for operational efficiency of the combat arms in joint environment. The event, which was co-hosted by the Headquarters Nigerian Army Armored and Infantry Corps, is in line with the Chief of Army Staff's resolve to provide professionalism at all levels while defending the nation through capacity building in a timely manner as part of a joint force.
The selected theme and the lecture outline to be delivered by our amiable resource persons are no doubt very apt now that the combat arms are committed in several operations within and outside the country. I must say that the combat arms have been performing creditably well in discharge of their assigned missions with remarkable, and I say remarkable successes.
The Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, in his welcome address, expressed readiness of the Nigerian Army to adopt the new development in many aspects which will help in their assigned mission of protecting the nation against all forms of security threats.
To further consolidate on the gains so far achieved, we remain committed to improve training and capacity building at all levels, provision of relevant equipment and other enablers, welfare and well-being of our personnel with the overall aim of enhancing the capacity of our personnel for complex operations. We will continue to improve Nigerian Army structures and capabilities to defeat emerging threats.
In a keynote address by the Executive Governor of Bauchi State, Governor Bala Muhammad emphasizes the significance of regular training for the Nigerian Army in order to meet up with the current security challenges.
The complex nature of the current security challenges in the nation require the use of kinetic and non-kinetic means, as well as multifaceted strategies effectively to tackle them. In line with global best practice, it is usual for the armed forces to train regularly in order to maintain combat readiness. It is not therefore out of place for the combat arms to constantly engage officers and men.
The Commander Armored Corps Major General M.S. Ahmed, however, commended the Chief of Army Staff for his untiring effort in transforming and improving the Nigerian Army.
The Nigerian Army, under the leadership of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Faruk Yahaya, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, is currently undergoing tremendous transformation and gigantic expansion, of which the combat arms are not left out. The combat arms have continued to benefit immensely from the Chief of Army Staff transformational drive. Notable and worth of mention are acquisition and induction of new armored fighting vehicles, upgrading of training facilities, creation of new formations, units, and construction of new accommodation for officers and soldiers.
Highlight of activities during the opening ceremony of the Combat Arms Training Week was a book launch by the Chief of Army Staff, as well as presentation of award to the officers of the Nigerian Army. Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
And an Islamic group in Bauchi urges the state government as well as other critical stakeholders in the state to tackle religious issues with caution and avoid politicizing it for peace to continue to reign. The secretary of the group, Malam Ibrahim Mohammed, who made the call at a news briefing at the headquarters of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Bauchi State, said it is the responsibility of the group to ensure peaceful coexistence amongst the good people of Bauchi State and the country at large. Awal Hassan from Bauchi tells us more.
The group, known as Jamaatul Shabab al-Islam, is deeply concerned about the recent issue involving Sheikh Idris Abdul Aziz. According to the secretary of the group, Ibrahim Muhammad, a lot of events had happened following a statement made by Dr. Idris Abdul Aziz while giving explanation during tafsir in the holy month of Ramadan.
The statement was given diverse interpretation that led the issuance of an invitation to Imam Idris Abdul Aziz by the Bauchi State Sharia Commission to appear before it and clear the ambiguous statement. However, the invitation was cancelled and postponed by the same Sharia Commission following what the chairman of the commission said was due to withdrawal of all the ulamas on the part of the Ahlul Sunnah. To all the various sects of the Ahlul Sunnah, the alleged blasphemous statement wasn't a blasphemy. It was rather a fundamental doctrine of Tawheed, as prominent Islamic scholars of repute like Dr. Sani Umar Rijal Lemo, Imam Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Sheikh Abdul Wahab Abdullah, and several others within and outside Nigeria elaborated.
The secretary appeals to the state government and stakeholders to handle religious issues with care in the interests of the citizens.
His Excellency should be informed that there is a global conspiracy against the Ahlul Sunnah and the implementation has begun at national level and now in his state. We therefore wish to call on him not to allow himself to be part or be used as a tool for the conspirators for whatever reason.
He added that the police authorities should exercise due diligence and professionalism in handling such matters, saying that in a situation where sectarian strife exists, conflict erupts if not handled properly and justly. Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
And that's all on News Plus. Many thanks for watching. I am Chinon Supam. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.